Dandavat, dear devotees, Hare Krishna. So happily coming to Latvia and happily being joined by devotees. And we've got Mari with us. She's always got some good words to say for us. She sees the world in a devotional way. Mary, welcome. And Vishnu Prabhu, and then our team using Nama Priya's video. So I think she must be behind the camera somewhere. Is that right, Suresh Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj. Namapriya, no. She's not here. She is all in Riga.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's got your name is showing up as Nama Priya.
Sorry. Yes, I need to
Welcome.
change. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yes,
No
we
problem.
we
I
were
thought
together.
I thought that she, like you, was hiding behind the camera.
Okay, no.
But you are hiding, Suresh. Let us see your form.
Yes, I'm here. Давай.
All right. And all with Suresh Krishna Prabhu there, and Udaran Prabhu also, and Priyanana Devi Dasi popping in just now. Okay, let us begin because it's good for us. Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavang Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sarvaitam Savirutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha Vanchakaupatrubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So we have language interpretation on, so I'd better choose English. And so far, I suppose our interpreter has been translating Sanskrit to Russian with Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha. Hare Krishna. And if you have the Russian songbook handy, somebody, actually, it is good to read that translation just now. You have, I think, Suresh Krishna, you have in your Bhajan Kutia, that songbook.
Yes, Maharaj, we have it. Yes.
Okay, Prabhu, very good. So please do read the Russian forge, that one verse. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam, this verse.
Сначала я предлагаю свои смиренные поклоны лотосным стопам своего инициирующего духовного учителя, наставляющих учителей и продвинутых вайшнавов. Затем я предлагаю свои смиренные поклоны своим шастра-гуру Шриле Рупи Госвами, его старшему брату Шриле Санатани Госвами, Шриле Рагунатхи Дасу Госвами и Дживи Госвами. На более высоком уровне я предлагаю свои смиренные поклоны Шри Чайтанье Махапрабху, который пришел сюда вместе со своими спутниками и окружением, вместе с высочайшими личностями Шри Нитьянандой Прабху, Шри Адвайтой Ачарьей. И на высочайшем уровне я предлагаю свои смиренные поклоны лотосным стопам Шри Ширадхи и Говинды, а также лотосным стопам всех гопи, возглавляемых Лалитой и Вишакхой Деви.
And just for the one or two of us who know English, or am I the only one? Oh, no, I'm not the only one who knows English. Okay, then I'll read the translation too, because this is Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself. And so he's saying, first I offer my respects unto the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual masters and the recruiting spiritual masters and advanced Vaishnavas. Next, I offer my obeisances to my Shastra Gurus, Srila Rupa Goswami, his elder brother, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami. And on a higher platform, I offer my respects unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came with his paraphernalia and associates, along with those great personalities, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Acharya. And in the highest stage, I offer my obeisances unto the lotus feet of Shri Radha and Govinda, and all of the gopis, headed by Lalita Devi and Vishakha Devi. Hare Krishna. This is what we are saying very easily when we are chanting Vandeham Shri Guru. And it is good for us to try to remember that, to keep that in mind. Hare Krishna, Gauri Ras Prabhu also joined us. Leelavati Didi joined us. Tangarasa Devi Rasi joined us. Arjuna in Tomsk, Hare Krishna, and Indumati and Braja Krishna Prabhu all joined us. And Paramananda Prabhu in Govinda Farm too. All right, so dear devotees, would you like today to give us news from Latvia? First of all, last week I chatted away and didn't give you a full opportunity to say. This week, please, Suresh Krishna Prabhu, Govardhandari Prabhu, and all of you there, kindly share something of your devotional news this week.
Yes, Maharaj, you can switch to interpretation. I will speak Russian, okay?
Yes, and anybody else who only knows English, Tonga Rasadidi, please, Indu Bangla, please select English in the interpretation. Then we will hear in English while they speak Russian, and we'll still hear in English if any of us speak in English.
Okay. So
yesterday we spent a great day in the association with the devotees. Namapriya Didi and Kaushali Didi came to support our Sankirtan, and we had a very intense day, starting with Mangal Arati, and then we had a walk, preparing Boga, honoring Prasadam, and then church with Prasadam. We went to the park for Sankirtan. We were sitting, and Tatiana joined us as well. That was a wonderful time, but of course, some mosquitoes came by to break the harmony. They were not afraid of the sun. But anyway, we had a great time in the park. We were chanting Mahamantra. People were walking around, smiling. Then we went for a first trial to distribute the books, as we announced last week. It was a little bit clumsy, childish. We didn't know what to start with. But anyway, we were communicating with people, and we communicated with some. We told them about Krishna. One man took one book in Latvian language. We didn't meet much people though, because when the weather is good, everyone goes out of the city, so there were not so many people. But around 10 people we met, and one book was distributed. And as Chintamani said, from 10 people, one will take. That's the statistics. So we all got inspired. It was a beautiful day, very intense. And today, after Mangal Arati, they left. And today is Ekadashi. We chanted a lot. We started 1 hour before usual time, and we read Shri Guru and His Grace. And maybe you want to add something? Hare Krishna. I'm also distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, step by step, little by little. The science of self-realization is already finished, I will order more. And at my job, I also distribute. Even some teachers get some books, and one teacher of physical education, he will join us soon. So I'm preaching at my job when it's possible, and with the devotees we communicate, associate very nicely. I also do like morning, sending morning letters in social media, like quotes from our teachers, so that they would start with something spiritual, with their holy name, with remembering Krishna, because we have to remember him always. And when people go to job, they already surcharged with this. Oh, I cook. I prepare bhoga as well, offer at the altar. I distribute prasadam a little bit as well among my relatives and co-workers. What Krishna allows me to do, that I'm trying to do. I want to say that it's a very interesting current of Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Math. It's very interesting to be on this way, to develop here, to associate with the devotees, to honor prasadam and participate in some festivals and in kirtan. Everything resonates with my heart a lot. I just want to be grateful for that. It's very exalted, strong, and very spiritual. And I just want to add that Leonard, when he has opportunity, he always comes and helps in the kitchen, in service, in preparing boga, and Tanya as well. She comes beforehand to prepare something. Govardhan Hari always cooks something, some sabji, some kotlet. And Tatiana and Sergey, they bring something. All the devotees, they contribute. So we offer it all together and then honor it. And it's Sankirtan that way. And today we had all Ekadashi Prasadam.
Okay, beautiful, wonderful to hear. This sounds like ashram temple life to me. So well done. You're taking the example given by Srila Gurudev, the example of how to lead our life with kirtan, harikatha, prasadam, with seva, helping each other. As a team, we go forward. I see Paramananda just disappeared, but I was thinking that Paramananda could actually say a few words, some tips from his life on how to approach people with books, not in a commercial way, so we sell books and make money, but in a way to reach the people, to give them some interest and to influence them in the positive way to respect the books. But Paramananda's name is there. Oh, and he's there in front of his name. So Paramananda, in Russian, perhaps you could give a few tips, because bravely they've gone out on Harinam Sankirtan and bravely they've tried to distribute books in Rezekne. And some tips from you, Prabhu, for us all, actually.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been distributing books, but tip number one, you have to believe and to live by what you distribute. And if you have faith and you live really by this, then automatically it will attract people from the first word. Secondly, you don't have to be afraid talking about Krishna. I have committed this mistake myself, because in my time we thought these books are like about this or that, but we were avoiding mentioning Krishna. And once my consciousness told me, like, enough. And we had like some kirtan, and we decided altogether that we are going to tell about Krishna and connection with him openly. We will talk about what we believe, what we are inspired by, and everyone was very afraid that people will turn around, they will call us mad, but the opposite happened. We distributed thrice as many books as usually. We were sharing what inspired us, and we were sharing something very sincerely. And people, they do not buy the books, they buy the personality who tells them about these books. So we should try to be those persons who are talking about what you are interested in. You don't need to invent anything. If you're inspired by some particular moments, share them. If there are not so many moments, it's okay. Just try to live by those ideals that you practice. Not just gather together, but talk about these ideals. And I think that's the main tip that I could give you.
Спасибо за это. А еще вот с чего вы начинали, вот когда только человека видите?
Paramananda Prabhu, thank you very much. But how did you start your dialogue, your speech? How did you address people? Well, first we thought that we are going to enchant, that we could enchant people and attract them somehow. But then we understood that in the streets we do the opposite. We like frighten them, because we thought by our intellect, by our knowledge, by our charm, we can attract them. But the result was the opposite. And sometimes the reaction was very strong. You could even get some kick, so to say. Then we understood that everything depends on Krishna. We are just his instruments. And we try to be in some prayerful mode, so the Lord could make us his instruments. Krishna is all attractive, not us. So the more the deeper we go in this state, mood of being the instrument of the Lord, the more people got attracted to us. It was like magic. I can speak a lot about it, but you would get it, you would understand it yourself when something like this happens to you. Don't take my words as some theory. Just pray to the Lord, to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Mahaprabhu, so that he gave you some inspiration, so that you could become instrument in his hands. Then everyone will have his own realization, unique ones. And you will see how people will get attracted. Just remember that you are the servitors of the Lord, that he is all attractive. And that it's in the interest of all the living beings to hear what's their real position, who is the Lord, and what are their relations, and what are their real position now, what's their real position in this material world. I think that's enough, and the rest is like technical moments. How to approach people, just look in their eyes, don't turn away, because you have little contact with people actually. First, when you look into somebody's eyes, he might turn around, but then it's like disarming someone. We have very little contacts actually throughout our life. People almost do not look in each other's lives. Well, that's one technical moment that I can advise. Don't be afraid to look in people's eyes.
Ну, стеснение, конечно,
Of course, we had some shyness, but as you said, it went away when we got this prayerful mood and when a man responded us. And when he started to reply at least something, after that, the shyness went away and the dialogue started. So the Lord attracts, and the more you become His servitor, the more you become attractive yourself. That's as simple as that. Krishna consciousness is a very simple process, actually. There is nothing difficult in it. As Guru Maharaj said, the only thing we need is a great desire to approach the Lord, to learn Him, to have some relations with Him, to serve Him, and nothing else you need. You need nothing else.
Will I share some tips how to approach people on the street?
Right, Kishori?
No, you want to share some?
Tips. I'm the worst person to talk about tips.
Okay, we have last this гостях Rai Kishori.
We have Rai Kishori Didi here, and we shall ask her this question.
Rai Kishori Didi, you can speak in English. You don't have to show off your Russian.
Da. I do not have good tips for approaching people on the street, Maharaj.
You do have good tips for approaching people who give a little inquiry, though, from all quarters, from the really lost teenagers to the older people. We've seen that you're able to do that. So how to read the person and respond appropriately according to their position.
First, sometimes I send a prayer actually in my mind that I can say something that will come out that will be one, pleasing to Gurudev, hopefully, and that will help them. And a lot of the time I actually like that meditation from the of the swastika, you know, originally coming from India, obviously co-opted later, but it's from the root word in Sanskrit, su-asti. And actually in Thailand, which we happen to be in right now, they say sawadika, which is actually coming from su-astika. And it means like you're wishing something wonderful on that person. You're hoping to actually have some, you're wishing them well on their journey. So I try to think of that where I'm going, I hope that there's some movement in these words and they will help them on their journey. And I think a few things. One, the nature of truth is very amazing, actually. And I often think of how the word sat is the same word for truth and the same word for eternal. So the more that we're touching on universal kind of themes, the more that they're actually applicable. And there really is a resonation when it comes to truth. And the exploration, and really we can say that we have had, by some kind of mercy, some exposure to truth. It's amazing, actually, the words that are coming from our gurus. And they're eminently modern. I think that's another amazing thing where you're saying, like, I mean, think about what Bhagavad Gita is saying, if you don't sacrifice in this lifetime, you won't be happy in this lifetime or the next. And what does that mean? It means that there is something inside of sacrifice that is absolutely vital to actually feeling some joy. And everybody wants to feel some kind of relief from their never-ending mental systems. right? There's just, it's like constants, this like whole kind of suffering that's going on. And I would say that like there really are universal truths that are hiding inside of things, and they have an immediate effect when you hear them, and they're worth contemplating. And so there is some thing where you're hearing, and there's no one really that's not burning in the forest fire of desire. So we're all kind of have some common ground where we get to meet each other. And whether it's like, you know, emotional, or it's their family, or it's their job, or whatever it is, that's the nature of this world, actually, is it's uncertain, right? That's that song, Kamala Dala Jala Jiva Natalamala. It's a reminder. And we wonder sometimes, like, why do these kirtans have these reminders inside of them? Why is it saying that life is uncertain? Why is it saying actually these things? Because we've forgotten. That's why. Simple as that. Because we forget every day that we're going to die and leave this place, that the plans that we're making are very short term. So there's an immediate relief actually in the remembrance of those things. So I would say a couple things in terms of sharing with people. Try to share with people from your heart what makes you very excited about spiritual life. If it's not something that, if it's something you feel like you need to be saying or should be saying, but it's not something that gives you energy, try to focus on the thing that you find very wonderful. People feel that. They feel that. What are you actually doing this impossible journey for every day? And try to share that with other people, and explore, why do you find it is interesting? And the doubts that you have, they're also kind of purposeful in a strange way, right? Because what are they become the impetus for the next question, right? And we know really actually that the refinement of the question is really showing the refinement of the person. So the questions change as we change, right? You can hear it in all the lectures, that there's a transformation of questions. And so the doubts that we're feeling also kind of indicate some part of the path that we're on. So the part that we're excited about, maybe we had some little insight into the nature of reality. And like, that's actually like the hero's journey in storytelling. It says we go through some dark valley and we come back and we share something of what we've learned, and that actually kind of gives some relief to everybody. And everyone's done that to some extent. If you've been alive for a little period of time, you've gone through potentially many dark valleys. And in those dark valleys, you're mining something valuable. Otherwise, why are the scriptures telling us stories? There has to be, look at the story of Prahlad Maharaj. Would we have any idea what a divine servitor of the Lord he is unless he's going through troublesome circumstances? We have no idea what surrender is until we start hearing about what he's going through with no friction towards those circumstances, with full faith. So when we're feeling disturbance by something, we go, oh, he went through that and is exhibiting such a kind of devotion, and it's revealing him. So, you know, we have a journey to walk through. And when we kind of survive something, then we share that with others, and that gives them a little hope on their own journey. And that's authentic, actually. And we want to try and be as sincere as we can and as authentic as we can, knowing that we're also failing at that. And there's value in that. And then also one really helpful thing, I mean, it should be obvious, but maybe it's not, is to really listen to what people are expressing. People have very different angles of why they're arriving at those questions. And when we get a little bit of...
Because they don't have questions. They're just approaching a person in the street.
Well, I'm very mysterious if you approach me in the street. However, I will say this. There are people that are very, very good at being in the street. And I would say Devi Shakti, who lives in Salt Lake City, she is amazing. And she will talk to anyone. And she will bring them to the temple, and they all sit down. And, you know, like, there are people, they have some special magnetic Shakti. Actually, Shama Mohini, so many times she's brought people to the temple. One time she saw this guy, she said, you should come with me to the temple. And he was like, I don't want to go to the temple. She goes, you don't even know what you're saying no to. He's like, true. And you don't have anything better to do. He was like, true.
Simple logic.
And so then she goes, so you should come to the temple. Now it's been 7 years and he's been cooking in the temple for like once a week for maybe 4 years or something like that. So there's some very mysterious aspect of like, how does someone arrive in the temple? And
one more tip I remembered, important one. Do not get attached to the results. Results are his. You're just giving your energy, you're giving yourself in the service. Do not get attached to it. As soon as you feel the attachment, oh, I want to sell 100 books, 200 books. I just want to be remembered as this great personality who's been selling so many books. You're finished. Right that moment, you're done. And Krishna is so merciful. Immediately, you will suffer. Right away, you will get some reminder of who you are, about your position.
Okay. One tip came to mind. This idea of not being attached to results is very helpful. You're not doing it because other people are coming and arriving in this place. You're doing it because this is what you're actually excited to live for. It doesn't matter if there's 3 people in the temple room or 300 people in the temple room. However the sweet Lord wants to fill up that space and who he decides to see that day, that's like another thing. And I do find it that the more that you're not worried about that and you're trying to find the heart of the thing, that's also actually quite helpful. Sometimes when the program starts in Salt Lake City, and Maharaj, we're not British. I'm so sorry. So when it's 11:30, may mean 11:50.
It's inspirational.
Yeah, it's an inspirational starting time. And there's like 2 or 3 people in there. But we start cooking on Sunday morning quite a few hours earlier in preparation. And so then sometimes the cooks are going into the temple room to see like how many people have arrived. And it's like, 3 people. And we just go into it. And so sometimes the devotees will sing some kirtans that like we won't sing when more guests come, right? We're not going to sing Amara Jivana if it's like 3 or 4 new people who've never been inside. So we take advantage a little bit, like, oh, nobody's here. Like, we could sing a couple like of the secret songs, you could say. But then when everybody's all of a sudden kind of moving into that space and those 3 people that are they're there because they want to be there. And actually like this principle, like from Gandhi actually said, freedom is the right to do wrong. And so this idea of like, I'm voluntarily coming because I want to come, not because I'm supposed to or I should, or I'm so excited to come. There seems to be some movement with that. And lo and behold, and to my own surprise, I can really say this. I feel so amazed to see 30 or 40 people singing Bengali kirtan that they never went to necessarily be with Srila Gurudev or anytime, and appreciating after years, because some guests have been coming for years now, actually. And there's no feeling of like, oh, there's a timeline. They just have been coming, and we know that whatever the next evolution for them is going to happen in its own time. They're just, as much as they can, if they can try and please the devotees and appreciate the conceptions that are coming, they're on a path, and it's sweet. And then they're chanting. And so that attachment to the result, I do find very helpful. You're doing it because you love that kirtan, you love that song, you're there because you want to be there. I hope that was helpful.
Shall I tell one last story, Maharaj, a short one?
Please do. Please do.
Which actually happened. But we've been saying a lot of theories, and well, Kishori was giving some practical examples, but this is actually what happened to me. And we've been doing this book distribution on the big factories, and it was probably the biggest place. It was the Abakan aluminum mining. It's a monstrous factory. I think it's about 30,000 people working there. It's massive.
It's like a city.
Somehow we got the permission, but the thing is that you have to do the shifts. And I thought, okay, I would just do the shifts. I've done shifts before, so we'll have some time, 50 people, 30 people, 100 people, maybe 200 people I did. But their shift was 1,000 plus. And there's this huge so-called cultural hall. And they're giving me 5 minutes to present what I have to present. And we made it very clear we're going to sell spiritual books. So I'm there on the stage and I'm looking down and I'm seeing this very, let's just say, a very simple-hearted working class people staring at me. And I'm like 19. I'm staring back and I'm having this very deep realization at the very moment. Whatever I'm going to say is not going to fly. Really, they're not going to believe me. They're not going to, buy any books, whatever. And then, this very moment, I just prayed to Krishna. I said, you put me here for some reason. Really, and I guess my prayer was sincere, really, that very moment. It was really sincere because I was so scared. So you please use me, do something about it. We have 1,000 souls here. So if you wish, they receive the books about you. If you wish them to be connected with you, then you do something through me. And I got like a few minutes. And I'm not a perfect instrument, but you're the perfect master. And what I said was very simple. It took me 1 minute. I said, we're here from the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and these books about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you are his children. And it is in your interest to get to know him and to understand what is your position. And to know more, buy the books. And there was a dead silence. And I thought, that's it. I blew it. And then every one of them lined up. Every single person in that huge hall turned out to be 1,000 plus, I don't remember exact number. And they all signed up. No one left that hall without a book. It wasn't me, I'm telling you. But he wanted them to get the book. And it wasn't even a book, it was the set. We will always sell sets, whatever was available from BBT. So there were 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, depends, what year was that? Because BBT was printing new books every year. And it's actually happened in my life. And all I needed is to surrender to him and ask him, you use me now, because I'm totally useless. Otherwise, it's just going to be wasted. This whole opportunity is going to be wasted. So that's what happened.
I'm writing that down because I need to remember that. Okay, written down in blue and white. None of this black and white stuff. Okay. And also, just a little thought from me. By the way, I think in ISKCON, I don't know if they keep a record or not. I may be the world's worst book distributor within ISKCON, opposite of Paramananda Prabhu. So you can hear something from two ends of the scale. But at least when I meet people, I always try to think, this may be, and probably is for a lot of people, the only time that I'll actually meet them. And so I shouldn't avoid telling them the truth and telling them something which will get them in the right direction. And so this way, try to utilize that opportunity. And quite similar to how Kishori expressed just now, that somehow Krishna wants this person to come into the temple. Somehow Krishna's put this person in front of me, and they're asking, why have you got this shika? Why have you got this? It happens all the time, which is one good thing. You wear the uniform and then people know, at least you're a man of the cloth, as they say in English. They may not know what department or anything, but they know you're a man of the cloth. They have some question. So that is one thing, that it is our duty to distribute. And to distribute, to give to others, is also what Mahaprabhu is teaching us to do. It's our religion, if you like, not to get something valuable and pocket it, as Guru Maharaj says. We're going to pocket some knowledge and go away and do trade with that. Not that at all, but whatever good will come to us, we want to give that and share that with others, because, as Guru Maharaj pointed out, we see they are suffering, or they are in the position where we were before, without knowledge of a proper destination. And if without knowledge of a proper destination, how can you have even knowledge of, how to go there? Just to drive a car fast is wonderful, but where are you driving it to? You need a destination. And this we heard, and I may have even read this one, as Srila Prabhupada said. It may even be in Science of Self-Realization. It's a while since I read it. But when Srila Prabhupada went to New York, to America, for the first time, and he saw how fast everyone's driving their cars, I mean, compared to India, at that time, what to speak of India when we were there in the early days, you wouldn't drive your car very fast because you couldn't, because of all the bumps in the road. But in America, they're driving very fast. But he's saying that everyone's busy, going somewhere very fast. But first we must set our destination, and then fast or slow, but go towards the destination, not just to randomly try to, go here or there, etc. So when we meet somebody, at least we can say we've got some understanding that there is a proper destination, and we've got some understanding that there is a proper method to reach there, and we've got some understanding that there are the proper agents that have come to this world to show us that and to wake us up to that. So whatever we have, then we can give to others. And for many of us of our generations, it's true, when we were very young in Krishna consciousness, we are out in the public and out distributing books and trying to do something to distribute the message, that time, of course, of Srila Prabhupada, but to distribute the message of Krishna consciousness to the public. So whatever we can do, we will try. So I'm, as I say, Suresh Krishna, I'm the world's worst book distributor. And Krishna knew it, so he took me off that service and put me into other kinds of service, which included some suffering, but we did it happily for the Lord's. Included all sorts of things. But the parts we remember are the suffering parts, which we can mention on another visit, another time. But I had an excerpt for today, and it does fit in, if I can just read a little bit from Srila Guru Maharaj, from a new book called Devotional Treasure Chest, which is coming everybody's way sometime soon, in your hand sometime soon. So where am I going to begin? I'm actually working backwards from the part I particularly want to say. Okay, so this is Srila Guru Maharaj. One who wants knowledge wants to be the gainer by calculation. He wants to gain something. But what is that something? What is it that knowledge is searching after? He is searching after sweetness and beauty, for harmony and ecstasy. And that is present there in the highest sphere, the highest layer. And that can come down. Now we are in a neglected position. We are so weak. How will it be possible to attain that plane? How will it be possible to get permanent nationality then? How is it possible? We must begin in a particular process. Now, Srila Guru Maharaj saying, I mean, he's saying all of that, but now the agents are coming. Contact with them and follow their guiding light. Find out what is necessary to live in that country. Prepare yourself. Above all, anybody knows what above all means? Yes, okay, good. So above all, you must accept the interest of that plane as your interest. There in that plane, everyone wants to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. He is the center. And now, I mean, there are so many just important expressions in this short excerpt. Coming up, another one. We must try to be trained so that if you are taken there, you will know what to do. So the agent is necessary. He will teach us. From him we will get the knowledge. And in this way, we will train ourselves, and then the correction will come, and we will be able to go there. By their grace, we will go there, and we will be utilized there in the service of the Lord. So, self-abnegation is necessary. Hare Krishna. Then the next paragraph begins with first ... That's for the next installment. Everything is first. Everything is the most important. Everything is above all. I mean, these points that Guru Maharaj knock into us. But we must be trained so that if we're taken there, we know what to do. And you see, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev are training us to take us there so that we can have access there. And according to our sacrifice, Sharanagati, self-abnegation, then we will be taken into that higher association. And what are we doing now in this world? It is Harinama Sankirtan. And that means the distribution of the holy name, Hari Nam's Sankirtan, as Srila Guru Maharaj has given us explanation, full kirtan of the holy names, which means that really everything is fully with Gurudev and Guru Maharaj and through our sampradaya going upwards. And if we can give them to the public, then really that Sankirtan will be fulfilled by them. We are the little signboards to show where is the great treasure house or the great treasure chest, where little signboards go this way, go this way. So here we are in the world, and I can only say, if we want something again that we like heard today, we want to be ourselves when we meet others. And I can say from myself that what I can say to others is, when we know what to do, we should just simply try to go on doing that with the consciousness that's been given to us, the directions for how to train our mind, not to let it do this or this, but how to put the reins on the mind. And all of the teachings are really getting us to do that, to think in the right way, to behave in the right way. And in this way, mind, body, and words, or mind, words, and body, whatever sequence you want to say, to make that so that we keep on going in the right direction. And we have experience day by day, including this week itself, of young people, much younger than ourselves, leaving the world. I mean, people we know and relatives of people we know. So it's not something that is, okay, later we can take it seriously, later talking to people in the street, later you can take it seriously. But we want to try to go in the right direction all the time and encourage those we meet to do that. And that right direction for the public is going to be look and see what the great masters have got to say. And this is why Srila Prabhupada, he stressed the books so much, because the books have got the teaching coming from the pure source. Whereas what we say or not say, it may or may not be accurate. And as Paramananda said, if they see a group of people see a 19-year-old person on the stage, then what are they going to think? You know, oh, it's a 19-year-old, just a boy, you know, saying something. But if that boy, and we are all boys in the view of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, it is sure. If we as the children, the boys, can show them and can give some connection there, then that will be very valuable. And this really is also, this is our Krishna consciousness. We rely on Krishna, and that reliance is coming through his devotees. I hear a devotee behind me, by the way. Oh, Anindita Devi says, come. She's come to take Munindra and Krishna Kanta Devi away. Oh dear. Bring a chair and sit, please. So okay, sidebar in the talk. Here's Anindita Devi, a devotee since she was 15 years old. And now she's at least 25. Never mention a woman's name, but at least 25, we can say. Hare Krishna. Anyway, I was inspired. I mean, we are inspired by many things, but Srila Guru Maharaj, the expression in that short excerpt, and sort of fits in, but I'm not the one to say how to approach people on the street, but I am happy to say, for everyone, be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. And who are we? We really are, you know, the beggars at the feet of those who can give Krishna consciousness, and the beggars for service at their feet. We can render some service to those who are really able to give Krishna consciousness. So representing those, showing those persons, etc. And keep on going. This is like something we can understand. And as Srila Gurudev said, that it's not that somebody else's aparad will make us fall away from Krishna consciousness. It's our aparad. If we make offense, then we fall away. We can't say, oh, because of that person, they made this offense, I am not going to follow Krishna consciousness. It is not that way around. We have to be very careful in our consciousness that we don't make anything wrong. We want to try to tread very carefully on the path of devotional life. And we must keep on going and keep on going, listening and giving attention to the guidance of our masters, and not public opinion, whatever that public opinion may be. It is not a matter of vote, it is a matter of the purity of the direction that's been given to us. Hare Krishna. So they helped you, Suresh Krishna Prabhu, with your project to distribute books. And I, at least, was happy to say something about Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And the Vaishnavas here, my goodness. We appreciate all. Arjunadas in Tomsk, driving in the car. Is it? I don't know. Tram. Hare Krishna. Okay, back to Latvia. Suresh Krishna Prabhu. And where's our Braja Krishna Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Braja Krishna was here also in Dumati, in Daugavpils nearby. Hare Krishna. Anindita, yes. You've been along. Have you done book distribution?
Yes.
Please come a little close to the camera. Okay, Anindita Devi Dasi has done book distribution. How did you approach the people? But speak, come a little near the microphones here.
Okay. I quote Srila Madhusudan Maharaj.
What?
Yes,
Don't quote
he
me.
told us that we have is difficult for me in English, but we have not asked nothing for the people, but we have to give. We are the comunicatori. We are the we have to. Oh, lo dico in italiano.
Yes.
Okay.
Stay in Italian.
In Italian.
Please, with
Okay.
the actions.
Ok. And noi non dobbiamo chiedere, we don't ask anything to the other people. If maybe you want our book, we don't ask anything, but we are the donatore, we are the giver. Yes, noi stiamo dando la conoscenza suprema, so dobbiamo essere consapevoli di questo.
Now you know.
Yes, Maharaj.
Oh, yes, exactly. We ask you and you answered.
Yes,
Okay.
Maharaj, I would like to say, you know, when I heard many times from Paramananda Prabhu his story about book distribution, but now when I hear it now, it was very practical, because, you know, I was hearing before, it was like on a theoretical level, because I didn't try it. I don't try it yet. But now when I did try it, now I feel how it is and what is practical, what to do, how to do it, because it's very, very helpful. Thank you very much for your advices, for all Paramananda Prabhu, Maharaj, Rai Kishori Devi, Anindita. It's very helpful, and we will continue. We will try, because some inspiration. We got some inspiration to try it more, to do some better, to use these tips, these advices in practical level. Yes.
And I was fortunate that, except for a short time, then when doing book distribution, I was always dressed in devotee clothes and with tilak, and so we're not going there to deceive anybody. They know we're coming with something which is about spiritual life or God or something. At least they've got that idea. We weren't telling them this is a book on, you know, how to get rich, even though it is spiritually rich, but, you know, we're telling them they can see pretty much directly what we were doing. But of course, I was the world's worst book distributor, so maybe my
Maharaj.
recommendation of going wearing cloth isn't the best recommendation.
Maharaj, can you tell some of your experience about Malaysian book distribution?
Yes, I mean, I have quite a lot of experience of book distribution in Malaysia. And that, okay, one thing I can say, that the devotees who came to the temple and who stayed or even came and showed interest, they were very often, or the public who came to the temple, they were very often the very people you would not expect to come after you met them. And so many of those people who you spent time on, you gave special attention to, you think that they're somewhere close, we never saw again, or we saw for a moment, like that. And then people who literally smoking and, you know, doing all wrong things, and then coming the next time we went to their house, the husband's not smoking, they've become vegetarian, they got a sign above the door saying Hare Krishna, and couldn't believe it. The last time we were at the house, they said, oh, come and do a house program. Then, no, literally it's their house. Then He's sitting, smoking a cigarette, sitting on his couch. Okay, it's their house and no problem. But, you know, think, okay, we do many house programs. That's another house program in the list. And then, you know, a few months, maybe 3 months later, we get a call. Oh, please come back and do another program. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. And we go there. And then a big sign saying Hare Krishna right outside the door. And not only that, they were in a taman in Malaysia. Some of you know tamans, they're like the residential area blocks. It's called Taman Police Cooperasi, something like that. It was a police, many policemen live there. And they very happily have this sign, Hare Krishna, outside. So, you know, people who we don't expect will become devotees do. So we must give equal attention to everybody and not like ignore someone just because at the moment they may not appear a likely candidate, as it were, because everyone is a candidate. Yes, right, Kishori. I know you're ready. You're explode to give us some explosion of Krishna consciousness.
I really like this theme, Maharaj, because I think it has to do with not judging the person because we don't know what's inside of the person, right? Because we're trying to be utilized as an instrument, and what they digest, we don't know actually what's going on their internal world. We're seeing a very small part of them. And I think that theme really never gets boring, actually, of like, somehow or other things start to like transform their lives, and it's always surprising every time, actually. And so we don't know like what's going on, and it's really, really nice. And then I think the one thing that popped into my mind also was that sometimes we'll notice that people come for a period of time and we won't see them, and when they come back again, we're always like super happy just to see them. It's not like, oh no, you haven't been here, we haven't seen you for 6 months. And some people, it's been like 10 years where maybe we see them for like 6 months or a year, and every time they come, they're so happy to come, and we're seeing like some change. So it's not only do you not want to judge them by like some superficial appearance, but we're also like, we don't want to think, if we've been alive for many lifetimes, like what's a couple years? And it's funny, even like one devotee insult, like, I mean, you've met him before, Shad, who's been gardening. We won't see him for like 6 months, and he will drive with his pickup truck to the temple with more produce than we can possibly use, and flowers and greens and vegetables, and like, and he brought like just a month ago from his own beehive this thing of raw honey that's like huge, and he will never sell this honey. Like, even if you ask him, like, I would like to buy this honey, like I know it was like a big deal for him to try and give that to Mahaprabhu. And so we don't know like what the timeline of the evolution is that's going on, but it's like so sweet actually that whenever he feels that inspiration, we're always like super happy to see him, and it's very sweet. And you know, he said he was coming through the winter, which he has more time because he's a farmer. So like now he's super busy because it's an extreme climate. And he said, you know, when I first met you guys 10 years ago, and you were all telling like these Krishna stories, and I just thought they were so unusual. And he goes, now I just can't believe how amazing they are. And I just want to hear them over and over again. And it's like, you know, it's been 10 years or 12 years where, you know, all of a sudden it's like this huge thing where he's like in class and just crying, you know, and like, it's just quite wild for this huge man with a red beard to be sobbing in class during a Krishna story. So
I think Madhusudan, he joined because he thought it's, how is that possible?
Right. So the first story that Ram Sundar heard from Vinodini was about how Krishna held Govardhan Hill on his left pinky. And he was like entranced by this.
That's it. That's nailed it. Yeah.
Like, it's just, and you know, it was very interesting actually. My little brother, when I was asking her, which kind of goes back on that theme of like, ask people, like you can speak with people about what their questions are, what they're interested in. He married this New York super tough girl from like, you know, a very particular personality. And the thing that's most compelling to her is that the Supreme Lord has a mother. And when she took initiation, Acharya Maharaj gave her the name Yashoda. It's like, you know, she was like so amazed, actually. She like couldn't believe, you know, that this name came. That's like the most exciting thing to her is that God has a mother. She thought this is like, she never heard anything close to that. So it's also that thing, you don't know which thing they hear that's completely mind-blowing for them. And it may look like one thing on the outside, or it may have a long timeline, but our job is to just kind of, you know, wish them well to the best extent we can.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth, and to the best extent we can try and tell the truth, and let everything fall where it may. You're on mute, Marsh.
By the way, we were listening to you just now in Russian, and I've got to say, Priyanana is doing a good job. She's doing a good job. But even if we don't know English and actually hear your English a little bit too, just like we were hearing to Anindita just now when she's speaking like Italian from the heart, then I'm sure that only Russian speaker, knowing Russian, if they hear a little bit in the English, they will also receive like some special little injection from your expression. But it's super to hear it in Russian, and well done, Priyanana Devi.
But I have to say, the Italian Krishna Katha is perhaps one of the most beautiful in the world, Maharaj.
Yeah, but Rai is a little like that with her expressions and all these things going on.
I'm not trying to diminish her, but she is here. Just saying.
It is, anytime you hear it, feels like a song.
Could you hear that? Come a little closer, you're far away. Some wise words.
Krishna Katha is the best on the world, not Italian Krishna Katha.
All right. Anyway, we have to go because Munindra and Krishna Kanta are going to go. They're going over to Portugal. They're always being invited by Narayani. Come to Portugal, come to Portugal. So anyhow, they're going now. And Anindita is the driver. She's going to drive them away to the airport. And they're going actually just in a few minutes. So we better do our duty to see Munindra and Krishna Kanta off. And the world goes on. So Suresh Krishna and all of you there in Ukraine and in all parts and in Tomsk and in Norway and Chintamani, my goodness, you popped in. You popped in Mayapur and in Italy, Tomsk again, and Cedar Rapids, all over. So to each of you, and yes, everywhere, to each of you, from our side, humble obeisances, and it's a good job we let you speak at the beginning, Suresh Krishna, and your team there at your home, because somehow we all got quite carried away along the way with all sorts of sweet katha, as Anindita said, Hare katha, it's the best katha, whatever language it is in, and all the best, do your best. Okay, so from me or from us, because 5 minutes and 30 seconds, they're going to go. So we better do our best to see them off nicely. So Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. All the assembled Vaishnavas ki Jai, the Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitya Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari. With our gratitude for all of the contributors, all the hearers, all the participants, and we can just say, may Krishna consciousness land in our heart, stay there, and may we all make our journey home slow but steady, but in the right direction, and win the race. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat tuti devotee. And you can all put up a digital hand and give some blessing. Okay, have a good week. Oh, Priyananda, thank you. You did indeed. She's giving some blessing with her hand. All right, have a good evening. Have a good day, wherever we may be. Dandavat. Indu Bala. Govinda Govinda.
Dandavat, dear devotees. Thank you very much for participation. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
See you soon.